Even when girls found out that I had slept with all these other girls, they still wanted to hook up. And so when you start seeing that, it conditions yourself that there's nothing real to this dating thing.
"40-year-old Chad only dates 20-year-old women and ghosts them when he loses interest. Guess who's crying?" Welcome to Management Highlights Daily. Netflix has a documentary about the sex industry called Hot Girls Want It. It documents different aspects of that world and describes the exploitation of the men and women in the industry. Love Me Tinder is the second episode of the documentary and follows James, a 40-year-old former reality TV star who dates droves of 20-something women he meets on dating apps and ghosts them when he loses interest. This documentary came out in 2017, so it's not new or anything. However, this episode has some red pill truth bombs, and we're going to break it down in 3 chapters. Chapter 1: Why modern society is perfect for chads, F-boys, players, womanizers. Chapter 2: How women red pill men. Chapter 3: Why Chad ghosts women and why women can't handle ghosting/rejection. Shout out to the Patreon gang, salute! The original video is going to be on Patreon because we have to respect the YouTube guidelines. That's why you will get a censored and filtered YouTube friendly version. Certain clips will be frozen or excluded. So if you like what we do and you want to experience our content to the fullest extent, support us on Patreon. This video contains a lot of spoilers, so you've been warned. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we men, ain't we? We men, ain't we?
My name is James Ryan. I'm a director of marketing for a nightlife company out here in Las Vegas. I throw adult pool parties for a living. Like, it just doesn't get any better than this. Regardless of the fact that I'm 40 years old, I don't know, I have this different mindset in my life. I want to thoroughly enjoy every moment. And if you aren't having fun at life, then you're doing this thing way wrong. Look at this one, right across the street. We like Ashley. You have so many different options right at your fingertips. Technology has definitely made commitment and relationships almost a thing of the past. How it works on dating apps like Tinder and Bumble, left means they suck, right means you like them. Cute girl for old. We have Natalie, she's 23, pretty blonde girl. The goal is to find girls to have a fun couple days together. You know, they're not ugly. My friends are like, you're surrounded by beautiful women all day at work. Why are you on Tinder and Bumble? Why do you need these things? Well, if this is what you want to do, if you just want to date and you just want to have fun and you just want to hook up, there's nothing better than these dating apps. Yeah, boom. You are unmatched. Bye. But this is a superficial app, so therefore my behavior is incredibly superficial because that's the point. It does not represent me as a person.
It's clear that this man wants to have fun. I want you to keep this in mind. He wants to have fun. I'll come back to this later. Dating apps serve as a tool to enhance his prospects of fulfilling his desires. And in this next segment, he's gonna drop a couple red pill truth bombs. So brace yourself. Let's continue.
I sit back and I look at the last 20 years and I think I've had the best time ever. So much fun and so much sex. I have no regrets. I know society thinks that you shouldn't be sleeping with different people, but there's no rule against it. There's no law against it. And most people only say it's a bad thing because they can't do it.
Most men cannot do what he's doing. When women complain about men ain't shit, they're talking about men like him. Because men like him, a small percentage of guys, get the most attention from women, especially on dating apps. The majority of men are invisible to the majority of women. And yes, there is no rule or law that prohibits him from doing what he does, which means women are not exempt from accountability either. Modern Western society doesn't value religion. Let's continue.
There aren't women in their 30s in nightlife. You know, it's girls in their 20s. Their lifestyles are very similar, you know, fast paced, always on the move, and they're not looking to settle down. They're still enjoying life. And I'm still enjoying my life also. A 24-year-old now, as opposed to a 24-year-old 15 years ago, are light years apart. I'm meeting girls in their early 20s who have already had like multiple threesomes, like some crazy. And I'm assuming that has to be like the whole culture where everyone is just like looking at this stuff like it was nothing. 15 years ago, they were a lot more shy, they were a lot more reserved. And now you have sex with a 22-year-old and they're pushing you back, trying to eat out your ass. You know, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, do you know my last name? It's not my fault that society has sped up dating to where now you're f***ing everyone within the first week of knowing them. You know, this is what's just become acceptable. You know, I'm just keeping up with the times.
This is pure gold. What have we been saying all this time? It's society and culture that influences people's behavior. Like he said, 15 years ago, things were different. Go back 30 years. Go back 70 years. Society was different. Not that there weren't chads and womanizers in those days, but access to women has never been easier for these guys. Women are willingly giving it up in their prime years. We talked about it yesterday with Darius M.
And that woman in her 20s, you know what she was doing? She probably went to a little college, but for the most part, she's been living her best life. She's been sleeping around, I'm telling you. She's been dating around with a lot of dudes, bar hopping, drinking, doing drugs, smoking, doing all types of things, wearing her body down, sleeping with this guy, getting used and abused, getting in a relationship with a low-life guy who has no future. She rejected hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of men who are good, hardworking men who had a good head on their shoulders. Now all of a sudden, she just sees the light and she's ready to settle down with a good man and she's 32, 30, 35, 40. All of a sudden, don't you think that's kind of crazy?
Shout out to the brother Darius M. Women need to stop blaming men for dating younger women. Women need to blame women for dating older guys. Women need to blame themselves for being party girls in their prime years, not looking to settle down, only making life easier for Chads and Tyrones that use these women for recreational use only. Women are only making their own lives harder when they hit the wall. Low standards at peak value, high standards after the wall hits. Make it make sense.
When I first started dating, I would drop them off at their house and I'd be like throwing up out of my car as I'm driving away. It was just every date. I was just not used to dating girls. Like it was always, I would look so much younger. I was always rejected. I was always that nice guy who was just friends with everyone. You know, I never dated in high school, never went to homecoming, never went to prom. Like all the girls that I had crushes on, I was always friends with them. So I was their emotional support. I learned to provide that for these people. I was that guy who was just, oh, James, he's so nice. He's like my brother, like my best friend. Blech.
There are a lot of nice guys out there. It's common sense to be nice to people. And what I like about him is that he's not an ugly dude and still got friend zoned. That's where the ignorance is with a lot of guys. Being nice is not attractive. It's good, but it's not attractive. The punani doesn't get wet just because you're nice. That doesn't mean that you need to be an asshole. You need to be confident. This guy was nervous throwing up in the car because he had no clue what he was up against. He didn't know what to do. Guys get friend zoned because they treat women like friends. They are insecure, they are passive, and look for female validation. Now look what happens next.
I'm James. Nothing gets past me. One day I'm sitting at work and open up a MySpace message asking me if I was interested in Big Brother. So I figure, why not? You know?
By a unanimous vote, James, you have been evicted from the Big Brother house.
Like after I got off Big Brother, it was insanity. I went into the house with like 80 MySpace friends and came out with 28,000. You just can't even fathom that that many people are interested in you. It was insane, the amount of girls that were throwing themselves at you. I'd be walking down the street in Chicago and somebody would start screaming, "Oh my God!" And then they want to take pictures and have you autograph shit.
Look, it's James, everybody, on YouTube and MySpace. Look, same room.
I had no idea about just the lunacy that was involved with this show. People had made like tribute websites and tribute videos. It was crazy getting out of the house and finding out that you had fans. From that moment, it was just off to the races. I remember the first girl that hit me up, she would send me messages. And I thought it was a trap. I thought it was like a setup. Then finally I just gave in. And like with anything else, once you give in, it's like, just open up those floodgates. Even when girls found out that I had slept with all these other girls, they still wanted to hook up. And so when you start seeing that, it conditions yourself that there's nothing real to this dating thing. You know, there's no rules.
The Big Brother show upgraded his status, and now all these women come out of the woodwork, and he learns the ugly truth about women. They are not angels. Women willingly participate in the most immoral things, and when you are a high status man, a high value man, these women will throw their punani at you. You heard what Miss Jackson said.
Drive down to Atlanta. I had my own little space. Anyway, we were still engaging sexually, even though we were off, right? And so it was in this time where there was a lineup of us. We were passing each other on the stairway in and out.
No, y'all wasn't. No, y'all was not passing
You think this is a game.
You were not passing each other on the stairway. No, y'all was.
We were passing each other on the stairway. Like, this is my shift from this time to this time. So, you know, I was a willing participant.
It doesn't matter what you tell them. These women know exactly what they are doing. But the validation of this high status man, this high value man, is more important to them than their own self-worth and personal fulfillment. Understand, guys, this was in the early stages of social media. You heard it, MySpace. He only had 80 MySpace friends and came out with 28,000. His network went from 80 people to 28,000 people. That's what's happening now on these dating apps. Tinder, Bumble. Tinder has over 100 million female users in the US, and they are swiping right on guys like him. Now check this out.
I remember I used to be so nervous when I go on dates. Now it just seems so routine.
I've said it many times on this channel. Women red-pilled me because I had access to them. It becomes routine because women in general all work the same. If you spend a lot of time with women, you will notice a pattern emerge in their behavior, revealing their habits, preferences, and tendencies. Behind closed doors, women will not only tell you the ugly truth, they will show it to you, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why Chads and Tyrones are always confident, because they possess a strong belief in their abilities and consistently achieve success with women. No need to be nervous. It's just another day at the office. And that's why it's easy to let them go, which brings us to the next chapter.
In a way, it's easier for them to break it off with him than it is for him to say, hey, this isn't really what I'm looking for anymore, because then he isn't the mean person in the relationship.
If I'm gonna sit here and call 5 girls and tell them why I don't want to date them anymore, it's just gonna create 5 times the drama. It's too much work. Like, I don't have time to put that in. I just don't want to deal with their feelings at that point. You know, I've already said via text, you know, wish you the best. I've had these conversations so many times. I feel like I know where they're just gonna go. She's gonna try to apologize. you know, and want to talk and work things out. And I just don't really have that in me. It's just one of those things where, I don't know, maybe this is where
This game is not played without pain, without feelings getting hurt. Ghosting is a cowardly move for people who don't have the guts to have an honest conversation, avoiding any chance of drama or awkwardness in relationships. As a chat, you can make your intentions clear from the start and still get what you want. However, it takes away some of the fun, some of the experience. He dates some of these women, takes them to restaurants and stuff. He's not just pumping and dumping them. And that's an experience that he enjoys. Remember what I said. This man wants to have fun. These women are for recreational use only. The moment it's not fun anymore, these women have served their purpose and he's on to the next one. Women are the most fun in the beginning stages. They are on their best behavior in the beginning stages. But drama is inevitable. Usually starts after 3 months. And he wants none of that. So he's out. And it's interesting because women are the biggest ghosters. They invented that shit. Look what happens to women when they get a taste of their own medicine.
Like he just retweeted 3 minutes ago. And 27 seconds ago. And a minute ago. 3 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago. When you don't respond back to my text message like that, and I see that you read it, yeah, it's gonna make me hurt. It's gonna make my mind start working. Any girl's natural reaction, they're gonna go check your social media. They're gonna go see on Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, whatever it may be. And then right now he's just retweeting all this garbage. You know, I don't think you should do that to the girl that you were dating for the past, I don't know, 2-3 months. I don't know what you're thinking.
I mean, I just thought that after that whole text conversation and everything, that was it.
You made it sound as if I was just crazy. I don't know why.
Well, like I said.
Why?
Well, one. When
you don't realize that you hurt people? And the worst part was, you just ignore my text. You make me feel like the most stupid fucking person ever. Maybe you just don't think it's a big deal, but...
The validation of a high-status man can be correlated with a woman's own self-worth. Women seek validation from the sisterhood and high-status men to boost their own self-esteem. When this validation is withdrawn or taken away, it crushes them. It crushes their self-perception, and it can impact their emotional well-being. How many videos of women crying in the car are popping up on TikTok? Women do not handle rejection very well. They cry, but they gave themselves to these men without commitment. So I don't feel sorry for these women, because women are supposed to be smarter than us, right? That's why you have to be careful with chats leftovers. Older women bring all of this baggage with them, and you will have to pay for it.
I think literally we had, and I'm not saying this to take away from anything we had, because like I said, I enjoyed spending a lot of time with you. There's nothing negative I have to say. You were right to be upset.
Patreon supporters, salute! Manosphere, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.